I'm Dan Galusha, and welcome to another edition of Shootin' Plink. Today we're going to be having part 2 of the drum magazine when we're actually going to be firing this. The other day I showed you how to load it, and I used the Mag Lula Up Lula, which I showed you, not to load it to try it, but there is an unloading feature with that. And it does fasten to the back and work. Well, it doesn't work real well on this one. The rounds actually got stuck, which worries me as to what's going to happen when we start firing it. And of course, this is for the Ruger 1022. You probably wonder what that piece of paper is in my hand. Well, I'll be telling you in just a second here. In fact, I'm going to lay this gun down. It is definitely unloaded. There's no magazine in it because this is what's going to go in it. That's what I'm going to tell you now what we have done. Now, the reason that I got this piece of paper is the fact that I have got an order of ammo. In other words, this holds 110 rounds. I have basically got it full of, well, let's see, probably the majority of the rounds are going to be Browning. And that's going to be the last ones fired. The first ones are going to be the Federal Range, and they're a 40 grain round nose, lead round nose, and they're at 1200 feet per second. Second in order, and I'll be telling you this when we're shooting, is going to be the Winchester M22s, and those are 40 grain, and they have the black lead round nose, and they fire at 1255 feet per second. Number 3 will be the Federal Premium Hunter Match. Now, those are at 40 grain again, but these are hollow points. These are going to be one of the hollow points fired, and that's 1200 feet per second. I got some Aguila in here, and it's the Super Extra, and it's also a 40 grain lead nose, but it is at 1170 feet per second. They call it Super Extra, but still, it's down there a little bit. The CCI Standard, which is only at 1070 feet per second, is a 40 grain round nose. So, and that has fired very well before in this gun, so we're going to see what it does in this magazine. I've got some Remington. Now these are the 36 grain, so I've dropped down just a little bit, but they're at 1280 feet per second, and they are a hollow point. The last ones that will all be fired, and these I'll probably go with rapid fire, but I'm going to go down the line and I'll explain what I'm going to do with those. The Browning 40 grain, which I mentioned to you before, is at 1255 feet per second, and it is a round lead nose too. Now, what I'm going to do is I have got 5 Make It Ring AR 500 targets set up, and they're in our longer range over here in the ravine range, and this way I can fire one round, back down, and then we know we fired our 10 rounds, because there's 10 rounds of each one of these except for the Browning. I wanted to explain that because people wanted these mixed up. So let's go over and start shooting. Alright, you can see our 5 targets up through here, and we're going to start off with that Federal Range that I told you about. This is at 1200 feet per second, and we'll rack in the first round. I think I've got the drum in tight, I'm hoping. We're not going to worry as much about accuracy. Let's start off right here. We got our first misfire. Now, is it misfired or is it jammed? It is jammed. Now, it didn't even make it through the first 10 rounds. So I'm going to cut you off and we're going to get this jam out. Okay, I've got it back in. So, I don't know. Let's see what happens with these others. I reloaded it too. I got the jammed round out. I think I was down to this one. Alright, now the next ones are going to be the Winchester M22s, and those are 1255. Well, those went pretty good. Now we're going to go with the Federal Hunter, and those are 1200, I know that, because I've shot these a lot, and these have got the nickel casings, by the way. Okay, the Hunter match went pretty good. I'm not sure if I'm hitting that one target. There's kind of a weed in my way, but it always seems like it comes to that one. Maybe it's, I don't know. Anyway, next ones are going to be the Aguila, and these are the ones that I think are about 1170 per second, so we'll find out. Well, Aguila went pretty good. So, let's see what we got next. Okay, now we're going to shoot the CCI standards, and those are, of course, at 40 grain, and those are 1170s, or 1070s rather. Sorry about that. See how this works. Well, those went good. And like I said, those are only 1070s. Those are just a regular standard. The next are hollow points, and they're 36 grain. These are the Remingtons. And they come in at 1280. So let's try them. Well, they work pretty good. Now, these are our Brownings. They're 40 grain. They're at 1255. We are going to try some rapid fire on the big gong up there. See what happens there. And that must be it. We'll top it out and see. Oh. Yeah, I think it's it. Here we go. Yep, she's empty. All 110 rounds. We only had one hiccup in the first 10. And so those were with the Federal range ones. Could it have been the ammo? Possibly. Because the rest of them cycled right through. Well, you got to see what it does. It went through pretty good, like I said, except for that Federal range. Could it have been that? I don't know. I don't have any others with me to fire, or we might load in 10 more rounds and see what had happened. You know, it seemed pretty good. It got a lot of others, but I don't need to load them because, you know, they were pretty good. Perhaps it's up at the top, but, you know, again, it was just kind of weird because it was about the, let's see, probably about the 8th round that was jammed right there. And it wasn't that bad of a jam. It didn't take me that much. All I did is pop out the magazine like this and looked inside, and the round fell out, and I was able to put it back in. And I put it, in fact, I reloaded it, as you know, and I kept firing. So maybe it was just a hiccup, I don't know, but there's a possibility that you're going to get a jam. But out of 110 rounds, there was that one jam right there at the front. That was it. And as you can see, you always want this thing in solid too, like I'd stressed in the other video. Get my safety glasses off here, my shooting glasses. that Jim Norquist put together for me. They're actually computer lenses, but that's what I use to see the sights, and doesn't look like I did too bad, because if you were watching, and you can see from here, most of the rounds are in the middle. So I think what helps is, like I had said in the first video, the weight of this actually makes it like you have a stand. I know that's weird to say, but it is. It just seems like, because of where the weight is and everything, you have got a good stable area. Just remember though, to get this thing in tight, and right now it feels loose, but it's not coming out, so it's okay. It wasn't that loose when I first started firing, but you can even hear it a little bit. Perhaps it's because it is empty too, because we got all 110 rounds fired. And what's my conclusion on this? To tell you the truth, yes, it works good and all that, but the banana magazines, like I had showed you in a past video, which are a regular Ruger, there is a double one, which is for 50. You can flip it around, you have 50, and if that, and I haven't got one of those, but it should fire as well as the 25 round that I've got. And I know that's only 50 rounds where this is 110, but in a roundabout way, I'd probably prefer that. But this does work. I can't say it don't work. It looks impressive, don't it? It looks like something out of the old Russian World War II type stuff. Anyway, it works. Let's put it that way. We had one jam, that was it. You could see that it didn't affect anything as far as shooting goes, because, and I went rapid fire with it, as fast as you can do with a semi-automatic, and it worked pretty good. So until next time, shoot safe and have a great day of plinking.